the society as well as for their children. Thank you.
Well, but some feminists would argue that marriage is an oppressive institution. And for women, it's better that this marriage does not last forever.
Thank you for standing on the behalf of the minority. Actually, in my opinion, as a general rule, lifelong commitment is required for marriage. But this general rule does not deny exceptions. Actually, there is no rule without exception. For most of us, I would say marriage requires lifelong commitment.
Let me ask you a question. Can you define marriage in the sense of, does marriage mean you have to have a piece of paper from the state, or can't marriage just be a commitment between two individuals without going through the regulation of getting a piece of paper from the state?
Actually, I think the statement or the paper are the things that are not so important. The real important thing is your attitude towards marriage. Thank you. And may I ask you a second question?
No, you're not. You're not supposed to ask questions. We are debating, and one thing about debate is we disagree with you. For example, I don't think marriage referred to that kind of lifelong commitment. I think commitment actually imprisons people, and I think marriage is just a temporary relationship. Once that relationship is gone, and then the two people should be kind of separate from each other, and it's easy for you to search for a new life. Marriage doesn't mean a lifelong imprisonment of your choice. You have lots of choice. People in this society have choice. We're now exposed to choices.
Thank you. Actually, thank you for pointing out the most important principle for marriage: freedom and respect. And probably you think that marriage is like a prison, but I don't think most of us are considering marriage as an imprisonment. Actually, most of us are gaining happiness and confidence from marriage.
Well, think about the high divorce rate right now in China. That doesn't mean that people are happy with the marriage. That sort of institution seems to be so outdated.
Actually, why they don't feel happy through a marriage is that they do not take a serious attitude towards marriage. If they think marriage is a lifelong commitment, they would take it serious.
Well,
and then they could respect and support each other, and finally, they could be happy. Thank you.
Thank you for that round. It seems that we have some very profound disagreement here, including who should be asking the questions and who should be answering them.
And I'm not sure if all of our television viewers who may be divorced would agree that they're not serious enough. But we'll see what the commentators have to say while the judges are doing their scoring.
Yes. I thought you had a good sense of humor. I mean, I don't know whether you meant to be humorous, but it certainly came over as humorous. And also the way that you actually turned your question back onto the panelists, that was a very good tactic. You had obviously, despite the fact that you must, I expect, be quite nervous being up on stage there, nevertheless, you were listening very carefully to what the panelists were saying, because you picked up on 2 points, freedom and respect, and you used that as your argument, which I thought was very good. Well done. But a side point, coming back to your prepared speech, you said that you felt it was important to improve yourself.
Yes.
And I just wonder whether, in the course of these last few years through high school and university, whether you felt you have improved yourself.
But I think I was improving myself every month, actually not every year. So every year I think I am totally a totally different person from myself. I was always trying to read more books, always trying to remember more English words and forget some words, of course. That would be inevitable. And throughout the years I have grown from a lovely boy to a charming man. I think this is
with a lot of modesty as well.
Now let's go to the big screen and see your score. We're going to take off the high score, which is 96.9, and remove the low score, 92.8, and that will give you a final score of 94.814, and that is a very high score. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as